trying to sweep around the outside and no room given. Both Mercedes off the road. George Russell into the wall and out of the race.
What happened between Hamilton and Russell at the Suzuka race? Why did Mercedes swap their position?
So it's an instruction, George. Swap positions.
And then ask Hamilton to slow down. How did this affect their relationship with the team's performance? Find out in this video where we explain why Mercedes is very annoyed by Hamilton and Russell's team. George Russell was on a one-stop strategy and in 5th place near the end of the Suzuka race, with Lewis Hamilton behind him and Carlos Sainz catching up fast in his Ferrari. Hamilton had newer tires, but Mercedes did not tell Russell to let him pass right away, which made Hamilton annoyed, and he complained on the radio.
Come on, just back up. It's pretty dangerous.
Mercedes finally told Russell to give way to Hamilton, but then they asked Hamilton to slow down and keep Russell close enough to use DRS, hoping that this would help him defend against Sainz. Hamilton disagreed with this idea and told the team on the radio, and again after the race, that he would have been better off if he could have gone as fast as possible in clean air. He said, "I don't think that was a good idea at all. When they suggested it to me, I knew that they had obviously thought of it from the last race, and it made no sense." Mercedes engineering director on the track, Andrew Chauvelin, explained that the main goal was to prevent Hamilton from being overtaken by Sainz when they decided to swap the positions of their two drivers. He said, "It is quite difficult to organize the cars live. When we saw how fast Carlos was closing the gap, we thought Lewis could be in danger too, because he also had old tires. Maybe we could have done it better. But we were trying to protect Lewis from losing that place, as he had the best chance to finish ahead of Carlos." Mercedes had avoided more fights between Hamilton and Russell by choosing different strategies for them. Hamilton did a 2-stop, which most drivers did, while Russell tried a 1-stop because his tires were not wearing out too much. Chauvelin said that the early battle with Hamilton did not affect the strategy choice. "No, not really, because our team's priority was to score points against Ferrari, especially in this race. When we realized that we couldn't challenge McLaren for a podium, we focused on what Ferrari was doing. We used our two cars effectively to create some opportunities, and getting one of them was a good damage limitation given that they both started behind us in the race." While some people were surprised by how hard their drivers raced each other, and there were some angry words on the team radio, Mercedes said that there was no extra tension between Hamilton and Russell. Communications chief Bradley Lord said, "They were both racing hard in a difficult car, pushing to the limit, and there was some radio traffic that reflected that. We have learned over the years not to take seriously what is said in the heat of the moment under pressure in the cockpit, especially in a hot and demanding race like this one. Anything that needs to be sorted out or discussed afterward, we can do it calmly and nicely in the debrief." Another incident was on September 17th, 2023. Hamilton and Russell had a very exciting and dramatic race in Singapore, which is a city in Asia. Singapore is known for its night race, which means that the drivers race under the lights and in the dark. The race was challenging because the track was very narrow and twisty, and there were many chances for crashes and mistakes. Hamilton started the race in the 2nd position behind Max Verstappen from a team called Red Bull. Verstappen is Hamilton's main rival, and they have been fighting for the championship all year. Russell started the race in 4th position behind Carlos Sainz from a team called Ferrari. However, on the first lap of the race, Verstappen had a problem with his car, and he had to stop. This meant that Hamilton became the leader of the race and Russell moved up to the 3rd position. They were both very happy and hopeful that they could win the race for Mercedes. But things didn't go as planned for them. Hamilton had to deal with many challenges and difficulties during the race. He had to save his tires, which are the rubber parts of the car that touch the road. He also had to avoid crashing into other cars or walls. He also had to deal with some bad luck, such as when a safety car came out on the track. A safety car is a normal car that leads the drivers at slow speed when there's a dangerous situation on the track. The safety car can change the order of the drivers and make them lose their advantage. Hamilton also had to face some strong competition from other drivers, especially Sainz and Lando Norris from a team called McLaren. Sainz and Norris were very fast and they managed to overtake Hamilton at some points in the race. They also had better strategies than Hamilton, which means that they chose better times to change their tires or make other adjustments to their cars. Russell also had a very tough race. He was trying to catch up with Sainz and Norris, who were ahead of him. He was also trying to defend his position from other drivers who were behind him, such as Charles Leclerc from Ferrari and Sergio Perez from Red Bull. Russell was driving very well and he showed a lot of skill and courage. He was very close to getting his 4th podium finish, which meant that he would finish in one of the top 3 positions. But on the last lap of the race, Russell made a big mistake. He hit the wall with his car, and he crashed out of the race. He was very angry and sad because he lost his chance to get his first podium finish. He also felt sorry for his team because he damaged his car, and he did not score any points for Mercedes. Hamilton also had a bad ending to his race. He finished in the 3rd position, which means that he got on the podium, but not in the 1st or 2nd position. He was very disappointed and frustrated because he lost his lead in the championship to Verstappen, who finished in the 2nd position behind Sainz. Russell said that it was hard for the team to decide what to do. He said that he only wanted to help the team finish 2nd in the Constructors' Championship. He said that Hamilton had a good season and he was fighting for 3rd in the Drivers' Championship. He said that maybe they lost 2 points, but they could have lost 4 points. So he thought that the team made the right choice, and also added that he was not angry with anyone. He said that they needed to work on the car, and they did not care about the small differences in the positions. Russell and Hamilton raced very close to each other many times during the race. Russell asked if they should race with each other or with other drivers. It looked like they were not happy with each other, but Russell said that it was fair. He said that he was happy to put pressure on Hamilton and try to pass him, and said that he was happy with his speed, even though the car was hard to drive. And also added that it was just normal racing, and that they lost some time because they were racing with each other. Russell said that he was a bit frustrated on the radio, but it was just part of racing. He said that it was not too much at any point, and they both lost time to the other cars. He also added that he had more speed, but Hamilton was in front of him and told him that it was part of racing, that they did not need to talk about it, and that there was nothing to talk about. He said that they had a bigger problem, which was how to make their car faster. The Mercedes F1 team is a group of people who make and drive cars for a sport called Formula 1, which is the highest level of car racing in the world. The Mercedes F1 team is very good at what they do, and they have won many trophies and awards. They have 2 drivers who race for them, Lewis Hamilton and George Russell. They also have many engineers, mechanics, designers, managers, and other staff who work behind the scenes to make their cars fast and reliable. The Mercedes F1 team is part of a bigger company called Mercedes-Benz, which makes and sells cars for normal people. Mercedes-Benz has been involved in Formula 1 since 1954, but they started their team in 2010. Since then, they have been very successful and dominant in Formula 1. They have won the Constructors' Championship, which means that they have made the best cars in a season. They've also helped their drivers win 7 times the Drivers' Championship. Hamilton and Russell had a fierce battle at the Suzuka race, but Mercedes had a different plan for them. They switched their positions and then told Hamilton to keep Russell close behind him. But this backfired. Why did Mercedes do this? Comment your thoughts and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.